we're in the big paradigm shift here of like the old way isn't working. What is the new way? The new way has to be from a place of truth, of honesty, of healing and love and acceptance and compassion. I'm just really, really feeling this need to hone in on the love in order to learn how to maneuver in this world in a totally different way. Hello and welcome to the January 2025 energy reading. My name is Rachel. I'm an emotional and spiritual wellness practitioner, and every month I do a reading to see what energies might be coming up. I just finished the 2025 energy reading, which I was not expecting to do. I sat down to do the January 2025 energy reading, and I did have the intention to pull maybe a couple cards for the overall energy of 2025, and then a whole reading came through. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link. It's on one of these sides up top. I'll put a link in the description below also. So a couple things. I do have a free Reiki infused meditation. There's a link in the description below. And then I also have my membership launching very soon. I'm not sure the exact date. It will be in January sometime. It is called The Lighthouse. I will be doing some energy healings over there. There will be integration activities that go along with the monthly energy readings. And then some meditations or yoga nidras. I'm not sure exactly what just yet. And as the community grows, I will definitely take feedback on what you guys want in that space. So make sure you check that out. Keep an ear out for that. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do some oracle cards for our themes here. And I am going to start with the Ancient Stones Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. Wisdom Keeper, a new perspective, study, and learning. Interesting. So in the 2025 reading, there was a lot about having a new perspective, like how do you want to see the world, your life really, and your challenges. This feels very, very connected to the earth. I mean, I know it's the, stones oracle, but seeing like this stone coming from the earth, it feels like this connection to nature in a way that like that is how we can receive the wisdom, right? Like that's how we can connect to our intuition. That's how we can connect to our greater space in the universe, right? Study and learning, it says on the card also, and it's like maybe this is your time to explore new belief systems, new ways of thinking, ways of being. Maybe you're finding other people like myself on the internet, on social media, and learning different perspectives from them, different spiritual perspectives, different mindsets to have. This feels like kind of being intentional with seeking in that space. I'm going to pull some tarot cards here to see the supporting energies around this oracle card. The Eight of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. Interesting. Okay. Eight of Wands, Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands. And let me tune in here. The Eight of Wands is very much about action. I'm kind of feeling this energy of initiation coming through also. And it feels like, this card, I think it's the only card in the deck that doesn't have a person on it. I might be mistaken. There might be another one. So the Eight of Wands, it is like fast moving energy. It's like, it is action, but it also, this feels like a non-physical space. And the Nine of Cups here is so much about gratitude and appreciation, recognizing the gifts that you have in your life, but also the gifts within yourself. It feels like here, like it feels like this connection to appreciating yourself and the journey that you've been on, right? Like you're so close to to finishing out a cycle, maybe. Or maybe you're still kind of in the thick of it, but like the end is coming, right? And this card, the Nine of Wands, it is kind of this recognition of where you've been, like what you've been through, and what has brought you to where you are right now. And with this Wisdom Keeper energy, it feels like broadening that out into a bigger perspective, a broader perspective of understanding like your role in the universe. It feels like knowing the significance of your life, of your experience, of your personal unique expression on earth here at this time, and the impact that your energy has overall, right? Like, I think that it can be really easy for us to get lost in how big the world is, how many people are in on the planet right now, and like how big the universe is. It's massive. It's crazy how big it is, and we can feel so small, but like as aspects of divine creator, of source, of life force itself, like we play a very important role in the ecosystem of the universe. Like our individual lives have an impact, like we are important. And also we want to stay humble about it, right? um yeah, it feels like this recognition of your gifts, and also like being willing to acknowledge them, being willing to do something with them. And like, yeah, this Nine of Cups energy, it does feel like an appreciation of the physical world around us, as hard as that might be sometimes. An appreciation of life in general, and like recognizing how your unique experiences on earth in this lifetime have shaped you into who you are, and how that is it can be a launching point for your like following your soul's mission on earth at this time, right? Interesting. Okay, what is our next deck? Okay, we're going to pull from the Starseed Oracle, another Rebecca Campbell deck, for a second energy theme this month. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. Okay, another energy that came up in the 2025 reading, you know, of the polarity and the karmic ties that we have. Interesting. Yeah, I kind of love that this is coming up right now, because when we are brought to face circumstances that are challenging for us, that feel really bad, just quite frankly, that don't feel good, that really, really push us to new limits, our limits, I guess, rather, that push us to see the truth of what's happening around us. Like, it's painful, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. I don't like it. And it's also kind of beautiful, because then we get to make a choice on how we want to move forward. We get to choose ourselves, really. Like, if we have the awareness and willingness to do so, like, we get to choose how we use what we've been handed, right? And like this karmic energy, right? Like, if you're in the spiritual space, you've probably heard about like soul contracts and things like that. I don't talk too much about details about that stuff. I feel like there are many different perspectives on that, and each of them are valid for whoever feels that truth for them. I think that there are a lot of variances in our experiences with those things, right? And also, like, my perspective is that I do believe that our souls chose to come here and chose to have kind of like specific themes in our lives of different lessons that we were going to learn, and I don't think there's any guarantee on how those lessons are going to show up for us, because we do have free will, and everyone around us has free will, so we don't know exactly what those experiences are going to look like, right? And that is, again, like working with what we're being given, and having the willingness to have this broader perspective that I was kind of speaking to in this first energy theme here, this broader perspective of like our role in the universe, yes, and like the growth that our soul is experiencing through the challenges that we're facing. Let me pull some tarot cards here. Okay, the Sun, the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Amazing. This Four of Cups card was the first one that came out in the 2025 energy reading. So the Sun, Four of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, okay. I mean, the Sun energy, it's so bright. It can be like connected to inner child. It can be also like light at the end of the tunnel kind of energy. And having it come through with this card specifically, it does, again, feel like recognizing the light in yourself, and the light that you bring to earth, that your soul is. It just is. That's just what it is. Yeah, recognizing the light aspects of yourself and like working with those parts of yourself, not ignoring the more shadow, ego fueled sides, parts of you, because those serve a purpose too, right? Those are part of our karmic experiences, our soul growth, our human earthly experience, right? Like that's very much in this card. It's like working with parts of ourselves that we don't really like very much, that are kind of missing the point here. That's kind of how that feels. No shade to those parts of ourselves. We love you. We want to work with you. But sometimes they are seeking their own outcomes, right? Because those parts, we have parts of ourselves that are born from trauma, wounds, the conditioning that we experience as humans, the day-to-day experiences we have that are doing their darndest to keep us safe and help us survive, help us navigate being in social situations, that help us like stay alive, honestly. So like they serve a purpose. Like we need to appreciate them a little bit more, you know? And the Knight of Pentacles energy here, this is so much of like grounded physical manifestation, like connection to the earth and like working with the earth and embracing our physical reality. And it fits so well with this energy theme here, with having this broader perspective of the importance that being a human is and has, like in the broader perspective of the universe, right? Interesting. Okay, let's get our third theme. We're gonna do a, sorry for the close-up. We're gonna do a dragon energy for the month. So let's see what our dragon oracle is, and it already filled out. Oh, we got two. Okay, so we have the air dragon and Kuan Yin's pink dragon. Cute. Air dragon helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, bring inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. Interesting. Okay, and Kuan Yin's pink dragon brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. Feels like there's a lot to unpack here, but we're going to see what comes through. So let's start with the air dragon energy. Helps you rise above earthly matters. As I read that, I really appreciated that statement specifically because as we are working through these karmic ties that we have to people, to circumstances, situations, experiences, it can be really hard to not get sucked into the conflict energy, the like ego stuff around it of like I'm right and you are wrong. Like it's really easy to get in that space, in a place of judgment, really, um and self-righteousness, those things, right? um and having this air energy, it feels like it's softening this a little bit, right? Like this softening of our edges, of our ego, maybe around how we are interacting with the world, how we're working with our challenges and our current circumstances. And boy, do I need that personally. I need some softening around that. Communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, seeing life from a higher perspective. That was covered, right? But this communication aspect and the inspiration and hope, let's tune into that and see what comes through with that. I mean, the hope energy, it's just like, damn, I know so many of us need that. And I personally have been struggling with that a little bit because of the challenges of life, and it's hard to see a bigger perspective all the time. So it can be hard to have hope personally in our own lives, but then also when we look at the world, I know that's a very challenging thing for people, to look at the world and feel any sense of hope. Yeah, and this air energy, it does feel like this softening of our fears and our doubts and general worries about where we're going, right? Because if we are able to tune into our soul energy, our truth of who we are, like we're able to understand things on a different level, right? It can be really challenging if you aren't practiced in that area, or if that's a new concept for you, to kind of understand like why the shadow plays out in the ways that it does on Earth, in such painful and devastating ways for people, right? Like there is the potential to soften and bring compassion towards that, right? Towards the darkness that we see come through people sometimes, right? Because we all do have like a shadow side, right? It might not play out in the way that other people's shadows play out, right? Like everyone kind of has their own thing that they're doing here with their karmic soul growth. So we're going to have different shadow aspects come out, and maybe at different times, right? Like maybe there are some that we haven't even seen yet. That statement stressed me out a little bit. I don't know about you. So let's like bring in that softening energy of this air dragon, of like having a higher perspective and being willing to work with what we are being given, right? And I love that this one came out too, the Kuan Yin's pink dragon, because brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. Like that's exactly what I felt like I needed when I said that there might be parts of my shadow that I haven't seen yet. Like this real, true love that exists within us, that we all are. That's what I felt like I needed. Was this like firm, grounded, like you are love and you can choose to live in that love, right? Yeah, and it's like, wow, okay. So this like love energy coming through, it's like I mean, it says it on the card, like it resets your karmic balance. Like that is how we are shifting things in this world, right? Like we have to come from a place of love. We're not, there are a lot of people doing really terrible things on Earth, and we can't bully the bullies, right? We can't shame the people who are doing the terrible things, because they are simply disconnected from source, from their own truth. and they're acting out of fear and separation and shadow aspects, right? It's a different expression of source energy, right? And they came here to have their own soul growth, karmic experiences in a darker energy, right? And we all have past lives where we've done some pretty horrendous things. And I think that that perspective can help us have some compassion around these darker energies that we're seeing play out, right? Yeah, and in order to like transmute that and to have that heal, like we have to come from a place of love with it, not hate or fear or separation, or aversion. Like it has to be from a place of love in order to truly, truly heal that in humanity. That's kind of where we're heading in that direction. So let's pull some tarot cards around this. Okay, tarot cards around the air dragon, Kuan Yin's pink dragon. I'm going to pull cards separately. This is going to be a little bit of a longer reading because 2 cards came out. Okay, pulling cards for the air dragon here. The Lovers, the Star, and the 7 of Swords. Okay, I gave that face for the Lovers because there's so much in the Lovers energy of like polarity, of balancing positive and negative, of reconciling physical and non-physical. Like it's so fitting for what I was saying, right? It helps you rise above earthly matters in this air dragon energy, and like recognizing the differences that we are all experiencing in our own lives. And the Star is it's hope and healing. And the air dragon card says brings inspiration and hope. So how fitting, right? Having it with this Lover's energy, it really, I'm just really, really feeling this need to hone in on the love in order to learn how to maneuver in this world in a totally different way. Like, you know, we're in the big paradigm shift here of like the old way isn't working. What is the new way? The new way has to be from a place of truth, of honesty, of healing and love and acceptance and compassion, right? And then we have the 7 of Swords energy here with it. It's like I'm feeling like more of the strategic energy that comes with the 7 of Swords. This can be a tricky card for people because I feel like a lot of people when they get this card, it feels like it's around lying and deceit, and it definitely can be, right? But there's strategy energy in this card. There's like being particular, being intentional, and like knowing what you're doing, kind of is what I'm feeling here, right? Like this guy is stealing some swords, let's be real. He knows what he's doing though. And it feels like, wow, it feels very connected to kind of just like your daily intention. I know that I have been drawn to setting a daily intention specifically around how I want to feel. And it feels like that. This feels like connecting with kind of like the smaller scale of our life. I know I spoke a lot on this broader perspective, but really it's like the moments, every single moment of our life makes up our full life, right? Like every experience that we have, like all of the experiences that we have, all of the things that we do, the decisions we make, the way we spend our time, those are the things that make up our lives. And so if we can take a moment to be more intentional with how we're showing up in the world, what we want to experience, like maybe we do want to feel like more hope, right? Like in the morning, it doesn't have to be this big ritual ceremonial thing that you do in the morning, unless that's your thing. Like, that's beautiful. I love that. I wish I did that. I work with what I can manage, you know. But it feels like just taking a little bit of time to breathe and to call in the energy that you want to experience for the day. And then throughout the day, it is going to require a little bit of maintenance work, right? Like throughout the day, tuning in with, like, checking in with yourself and being like, how am I doing with my intention? Right? Like, am I allowing this hope to come through me? Am I looking for the more positive things? Am I allowing my divine support system to uplift me, right? To be there for me? Am I willing to work with them in that way, right? Interesting. Okay. Let's pull some cards for Kuan Yin's Pink Dragon. The love energy we have coming through. Oh, that's too many cards. I have a card limit on these readings when cards fall out. That was a big old stack. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles. We've got our earth energy here. I don't know what this was. I don't know. Yeah. And this is our third 9 that we have, because we had the, oh no, it's our second 9. But yeah, it's our third 9. Okay. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, you know, ace energy is beginning, right? And it's in combination with this love energy that is resetting our karmic balance. Enjoy your freedom, look for the divine around you is what the card says. Yeah, okay. This feels very much like really, again, kind of connecting to this appreciation energy that was coming through, but it feels like more of like having a respect for our physical experience and for our human experience, like having a respect for the human condition, and the processes that we're going through here as our souls are growing and expanding. And again, that can be challenging for a lot of us to take on, or to just even remember when we're confronted with a very human experience. But especially with this like 9 of Pentacles energy, like this is very much, it feels very lush and rich and open to, like, it feels like Taurus energy, kind of like, I don't know if there's like what the astrology sign is that might be associated with the 9 of Pentacles, but I'm feeling this like this appreciation of our senses, of physical pleasure, of physical play, of being in a physical body and expressing in this way, right? All the things that we can do when we're physical. You know, it makes me think of like I've dealt with a lot of injuries the past few years, and some mental health issues as well that have prevented me from being able to move my body in the way that I used to. And I'm still kind of working with figuring out the best ways for me to move my body, you know, that feel good for me. And it makes me think of like, you don't know what you have until it's gone, because there are tons of people who do sustain injuries that altered the way that they experience the world, right? The way that they're able to move and to live, right? And it makes me very grateful that I'm able-bodied. And it feels like we need to bring in this appreciation for our bodies a little bit more. Some like tenderness there. And that feels very tied to this karmic energy, right? Like this love energy that's coming through with this pink dragon that is balancing our karmic ties that we have to earth here. It's like, yes, life can be very painful. Being human can be very challenging. Man, I feel like I say this a lot. um, and also, it can be very beautiful. It can be very pleasureful. It can be very joyful. I think that part of our conditioning is that we're kind of trained out of enjoying ourselves and like really embracing the pleasures of life and seeing the good in the world and the beauty in having a physical experience, right? So how can you like bring in some joy in that space, right? Like, and really like appreciation and gratitude for your physical life that you're living here. And the Three of Pentacles, it's expansion energy. It's like I am kind of feeling this kind of like bursting outwards of like our own energies, like our own expression in the world, like what we're putting out in the world. Like that is what's going to change the world, frankly, and also what is going to clear the karma, like how we show up in the world, in our expression, in our relationship with physical reality, our physical bodies, the people around us, the human experience, the human things that we deal with that we don't like, and the ones that we do like, right? Like how are we showing up in the world? How are we experiencing the world? How are we presenting our energy and allowing our own unique divine expression to flow through us? That feels very tied to our karmic healing that we're going through right now. Okay, there's a guidance card I'm going to pull, and it's going to be from the Stone Oracle. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the Ancient Stones Oracle for a guidance card for the month of January. Lay it on the altar, hand it over, soften, surrender, forgive. Let's put this here. Here's this card. Yeah, oh, I'm so glad that this energy came up here because it feels like this need to, like, with all the stuff that we talked about here, it's like, yes, there are a lot of things that we need to do to like check in and like, you know, the intention setting and the like looking at how we're showing up in the world, but it feels like really kind of this like letting go energy as well of like, remember that you are surrounded by loving beings who want to help you walk this path, who have also walked this path before you, right? Like I have gotten into a habit lately of thanking, you know, my ancestors for laying the foundation, like walking the path before me so that I could be here today, right? And every other person who has come before me, before all of us, who have paved the way for us to be able to be here doing the things that we're doing, right? Who went through their own karmic experiences and their own pains and traumas and troubles, right? And their own beautiful life experiences. Like I've been in a place of feeling gratitude for everyone who has come before us, who like I said, paved the way, walked the path, right? And so those beings are, if you call on them, they will be there for you, right? Like I always do say, my ancestors of the light, just to be clear on the energies that I'm bringing in. But like there is so much support for you on this journey. It is there. It is yours to take and use and embrace and allow to flow through you, right? And again, like that can be challenging to see sometimes when you're going through it. But it's there, you know? Take some time to connect with it. And it might not be this big explosive experience. It's likely going to be subtle. Everyone experiences it differently, but like, you know, get into a meditative state and like call upon your guides and see what energies come through. I did that earlier today, actually. I was sitting and meditating and I was like, I would like to feel the energy of my guides. And it's a beautiful way to connect, right? Because it helps you start to feel the subtleties of of the energies that you're working with. So, yeah, surrender, right? And there's a forgiveness energy in this card too. Lay it on the altar. Like, it feels like a big exhale, like like letting go and letting things kind of be as they are, while also knowing that you have the ability to create your own experience of life. So thank you so much for being here. If you have watched this far into the video, I would really appreciate if you liked this video and also subscribed. It's very helpful for me to grow, to reach more people, and it's helpful for you to get more content like this. Again, there's a free meditation in the description. I would love to hear your thoughts on this reading, if any of it resonated with you. And also the 2025 energy reading is available as well. There's a link in the description. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed January.